The collapse of Mayan civilization. The Maya Empire, centered in the tropical lowlands of what is now Guatemala, reached the peak of its power and influence around the 6th century AD. The Maya excelled in agriculture, pottery, hieroglyph writing, calendar making, and mathematics, and left behind an astonishing amount of impressive architecture and symbolic artwork. Such a remarkably sophisticated civilization, made up of more than 19 million people, however, suddenly collapsed sometime during the 8th or 9th centuries. Scholars and laypeople have proposed countless theories explaining the collapse, but no consensus was reached. Early Maya researchers believed that some catastrophic event may have doomed the Maya. An earthquake, volcanic eruption, or sudden epidemic disease could have destroyed cities and killed or displaced tens of thousands of people, causing the Maya civilization to crash down. However, these theories have been discarded today, largely because of the fact that some cities fell and others thrived. At least for a while longer, when a catastrophic event would have snuffed out the great Maya cities more or less simultaneously. The Maya were once thought to have been a peaceful, pacific culture. This image has been shattered when new discoveries and newly deciphered stone carvings clearly indicate that the Maya warred frequently and viciously among themselves. However, most Mayanists do not believe that this was the main cause of the classic Maya collapse. Another theory, supported by J. Eric S. Thompson, describes the classic collapse of the Maya to a hypothesized revolution among their lower social classes. Archaeological evidence indicates that Maya building and expansion projects were at their peak from 730 AD to 790 AD, with constant enlargement and building and without any machines or beneficial tools to assist them. The sudden burden of work may have caused people to abandon their values and revolt against the elite of society, specifically the priest-ruler. This might help explain the abrupt collapse of elite function as well as unfinished buildings and ceremonial centers, yet fails to answer a series of questions such as why the governmental institutions were not remade following the revolts, which actually happened under similar circumstances in places like China. All these theories seem particularly reasonable, yet are not without problems. As the research goes on, a different theory is gaining momentum as the leading explanation: that a prolonged drought, exacerbated by ill-advised deforestation, forced the Maya population to abandon their cities. Some researchers from Arizona State University analyze archaeological data from across the Yucatan to reach a better understanding of the environmental conditions when the area was abandoned. They found that severe reductions in rainfall were coupled with a rapid rate of deforestation. As the Mayans burned and chopped down more and more forests to clear land for agriculture, additionally, they also required massive amounts of wood to fuel the fires that cooked the lime plaster for their elaborate constructions. Using population records and measurements from current forested and cleared lands in the region, other researchers from Columbia University and elsewhere constructed a computer model of deforestation in the Yucatan and ran simulations to see how these would have affected rainfall. Because cleared land absorbs less solar radiation, less water evaporates from its surface, making clouds and rainfall more scarce. As a result, the rapid deforestation exacerbated an already severe drought. In the simulation, deforestation reduced precipitation by 5 to 15% and was responsible for 60% of the total dry-up that occurred over the course of a century. The lack of forest cover also contributed to erosion and soil depletion. In a time of unprecedented population density, this combination of factors was likely catastrophic. Crops failed, especially because the droughts occurred disproportionately during the summer growing season. Coincidentally, trade shifted from overland routes, which crossed the heart of the lowland, to sea-based voyages, moving around the perimeter of the peninsula. Since the traditional elite relied largely upon this trade, along with annual crop surpluses, to build wealth, they were sapped of much of their power. This might have forced peasants and craftsmen into making a critical choice, perhaps necessary to escape starvation: abandoning the lowlands. The result are the ornate ruins that stretch across the peninsula today.